My name's Tim Collins. I'm Secretary General of the ISSF, and it's a pleasure to welcome you all, whether it be morning, afternoon or evening local time for yourselves. We are conducting this session again online, and hopefully next year we will be back to face-to-face presentations, but I'll just take you through the programme of events. So we start off with my brief introduction, then we'll drop into the 4 sections of the awards themselves, and lastly we'll just finish off with the carbon dioxide certificates for people who have kindly participated in our CO2 survey, which is increasingly important. So the session this morning should take about 25 minutes to get through, so it's not a lengthy session, and without further ado, we will start with our new application awards, which is split into 2 categories. Most people may remember that. But we're going to start with our new technology awards, and I'm not going to list out everything that's on the screens. We had a very wide range of entries from differing member companies, and it's with great pleasure that I announce our bronze award in this category goes to POSCO for their laser welded duplex stainless tube for gas heaters. And I'll say a little bit about this on this next slide. So here, there was a key focus to look at environmental emissions improvement in operational power plants. And it's not that stainless steel was not used, but the product itself was difficult to obtain. It was based on a seamless tube concept, which is obviously very reliable for those people that have worked with seamless tubes. But these products often come with long lead times. So the POSCO team looked at, can this be overcome with a welded tube solution? And the interesting feature here, as we saw it as a team, was the selection of not just the duplex stainless steel, but the extensive welding process and in-service testing demonstrated that laser welding of the tubes could allow the seamless tube concept to be replaced with a welded tube. And that drove a number of benefits, not just in terms of improving the environmental emissions, but a cost reduction, a significant cost reduction, a much shorter lead time, and the product was performing to an equivalent standard of the existing concept. So this was a great example of how to take a simple shift, test it thoroughly, and move forward in a way that can be adopted across many power plants of this type. So it's with great pleasure that we award our bronze category of awards to POSCO and the POSCO team. Congratulations to you all. So moving forward, we now have the silver award in this category, and this is awarded to Outokumpu for their Still Ride electric scooter. And this is very interesting because the subtitle is Releasing the Full Potential of Flat Steel Sheet. And what's interesting about this was the focus was a change in fabrication techniques for steel sheets. And it was based on the concept of origami, which is innovative in itself. And the aim here was to challenge those traditional fabrication techniques of joining through welding, for example, to create a simpler and faster approach of fabrication. And there was also a drive to reduce the total number of components and exploit the lightweighting potential that we know in the industry stainless steels can offer. So this was a very innovative approach as well. We felt as a team this demonstrated good use of sort of technological thinking and lateral thinking. And the timescale was relatively short, 12 months to go from the idea to having 2 demonstrator prototypes ready for use. So it is with great pleasure that we announce the winners of our silver award in this category to Outokumpu. Now moving on to our gold award, we're very pleased to announce that Columbus Stainless in South Africa have been given our gold award for their efficient sanitation system. And this was impressive because it was looking at the sanitation crisis that I think we all know exists in developing countries and particularly in rural areas. And from a simple standpoint, the focus here was to provide hygienic sanitation systems. Everybody deserves these in parts of the world where scarcity of running water is commonplace. And also the thinking here was to avoid both groundwater and river water pollution that are traditionally associated with the pit latrine sanitation systems. So this was all about dignified, a dignified system and human safety and hygiene. So we felt they have to be overriding themes, which is why the team here at the ISSF felt this was worthy of the Gold Award. And there are some interesting features here that the liquid and solid excrement are really separated and reused. So this was an enclosed process, a closed loop system to ensure that no ingress of things like flies, which are commonplace in some of these environments, in order to retain the hygienic features and use the waste in a positive way for the local people. So it's with great pleasure that we give our Gold Award in this category to Columbus Stainless. Again, congratulations to the whole team. So that is part one of the new application awards. I'm now moving on to our market development awards. And again, we have an extensive list of submissions from our member group here, and this splits over 2 slides. Again, I'm not going to dwell on the detail, but we had a very good range of applications this year. And our bronze award in this category goes to HE Steel, and this was for what's known as the vertical greening cylinders. It has a registered trademark called the vertical forest, which I think is more meaningful. And this was initially used at the HE International Convention and Exhibition Centre. And the notion here is to create, and you'll see from the picture, an environmentally friendly green floral symbolic space. So it gives this impression in, as you see in the photograph, an outside environment of a lovely green vertical forest. But in addition to this, because the concept was placed outside, the materials chosen to allow this forest to be created needed to withstand all weathers and yet still allow plants and shrubs to grow successfully in all seasons. So the choice of 316 stainless steel for this application withstood the harsh weather conditions, and it even withstood one of the extreme typhoons that was experienced in 2018. And while this is very much a symbolic theme, it's very much aligned to the sustainable dimensions that we attach stainless steel to. So we felt this concept, because it was adaptable, was worthy of our bronze award, and congratulations to the HE Steel team on behalf of the whole ISSF. But we also in this category have a second bronze award because we were having difficulty separating 2 of the entries. And our second bronze award goes to Aparam, and this is for their stainless returnable and reusable drum concept. And what the team liked about this was that it was not just focused on the circular economy, but it was a simple concept that people could latch onto very quickly. It was based on reusable and recyclable packaging, exploited the strength and corrosion resistance of stainless steels to create the types of drums you see in the photograph, and the use of a high strength stainless steel allowed for significant lightweighting. So this is always an important theme that is good to be seen, to be put into practice. Again, as with other examples, there was thorough testing here to ensure there were no surprises in the in-service performance. And whilst, as I've said, this concept was simple, it has many strong technological features, which means it can be applied across many usage sectors. And that was another feature that we felt as a team was important. So there were lots of simple considerations, and often the best ideas are the simple ones. So congratulations to the Aparam team for this concept, and it's an honour to give them the bronze award. So moving forward now to our silver award in this category, and this goes to Outokumpu again for their foam-filled stainless ring structure for the next generation car. And this is quite an interesting concept. 2 photographs here to show the finished vehicle at the bottom and the sort of part built unit in the top. And the idea here was to create a safe and lightweight regional vehicle, looking at urban settings primarily, that utilizes ultra high strength stainless steel and powered by fuel cell technology. So it's the bringing together of two important developments for the mobility sector. And this was driven by a need to adapt to current megatrends, particularly in terms of urban mobility, and using stainless steels to support the lightweighting concept again, but also give safety standard performance, cost efficiency and sustainability, knowing that this product can last a significant amount of time. It performs in a very safe manner. It had excellent crash test results, and it delivered a very lightweight vehicle with a significant range. And of course, being a fuel cell vehicle, zero greenhouse gas emissions. So again, we were very pleased as a team to give the Silver Award to the Outokumpu Group and the Outokumpu team. Congratulations to you all. And now we move to our Gold Award in this category. And this is given to Acerinox in Peru for their stainless steel CNC cut bridge slot for well water screening. And what we liked about this was very clearly focused on the preservation of scarce resources, i.e. water in this case. And the key theme was the development of an inexpensive water screening system that allowed all regions of the world to utilize the system, particularly without manual intervention, which was a known disruptor of current water screening systems if you're not able to afford what is known as the gold standard of screening systems. The continuous slot system is currently expensive and therefore not employed around the world, and particularly in rural locations and emerging economies, they needed something that was more cost efficient. And also the traditional bridge type systems, there are many types of systems available for water screening, required, as I mentioned, manual intervention. And that resulted in variable water quality at the output side. So this system employed many features of the continuous slot system, the gold standard, but with a much reduced cost to manufacture. So the new product performed at the same level, but it brought this significant cost reduction. So we felt, knowing how many parts of the world are struggling with regular water supplies, that this was worthy of the Gold Award, and it's congratulations to the Acerinox team for this concept. So now we move on to the Safety Awards. And in this category, we had a number of very interesting entries. Two slides of differing entries here. But the team, when we assessed them, found that we fairly quickly reached consensus of what were the top three in our view. And I'm delighted to give the Bronze Award to Columbus Stainless for the reinforcement of the lockout key system. And I think for those of us in our type of industry, the use of a lockout key system is well established and well understood. But this was an interesting twist on how to improve it. So the Columbus team looked at safety problems on one of their process lines and found there was a need to enhance safety controls in what were designated high risk areas. So the focus here, or the theme here, was to simplify the operational safety controls without any loss of safety robustness in order to eliminate both employee confusion and what are known as bypassing behaviours, excuse me, when employees become complacent or fatigued. And we know that is a feature of working long shifts. So the prime aim was to make use of a robust protection system that it was unavoidable and simple. So nobody could bypass it and everybody would remember how to use it. And it addressed two key issues: taking people out of the line of fire, which is really important, and undesirable human factors, because we know something like 97, 98% of accidents are ultimately caused by human factors. So we felt this was simple, it was smart, and it was perfectly transferable. So it's with great pleasure that we offer our bronze award in the safety category to Columbus Stainless. Our silver award in this category goes to Aperam for their COVID-19 management project. And many people will say, hey, we've all been faced with the problems of managing COVID. But what we liked about this was that it not only brought together maintaining employee safety and business continuity, it was about being fast, being decisive, and enabling through continuous employee and family safeguarding. It looked at the wider sort of bubble, if you want, which is one of the common words that we're using currently. And the action was focused on not just communication, but hygiene and health risk assessments and ongoing monitoring, and the introduction of the communication systems that had this wider family involvement made for very compelling posters and documents that reinforced the message constantly. And what was impressive was that there was an ability to reduce absenteeism within the operational sites. No COVID-19 breakouts occurred on the production sites. And as I've said, with the involvement of families, the message takes on a greater impact because people remember they're looking after their partners, their children, not just themselves. So this was impressive, not just for the fact that it was quick, fast, but the way it was communicated and managed. So it's with great pleasure we offer the Silver Safety Award this year to Aperam. So now we move on to our Gold Award in this category. And this is given to Nippon Stainless Steel Corporation. And this is for the improvements due to what's called danger experience education. And this is based on, in their words, actual disasters. So the notion here was to create a simulated safety training center based on real world experiences. And one of the key themes was the use of what's known as sensory education as a cornerstone for this approach. And initially, the Nippon Stainless Steel Corporation team focused on accidents where mechanical power was a real danger. And they took a notion attached to each area of focus. And this is the power of the machine is bigger than we imagine. And that was a really powerful message. But what the Nippon Stainless Steel Corporation team found was that there was a real need to bridge what was termed an individual sensitivity gap between own perceptions and the real world dangers. And the analysis of accidents highlighted this human perception gap. So the outcome was the development of a facility where accident situations can be simulated and employees can develop the understanding and perceptions of those hazards, those risks, and the real world dangers that exist. So we felt, because this was very much a hands-on system, but undertaken in a very safe environment, this was worthy of our Gold Award this year. And I'd like to congratulate the Nippon Stainless Steel Corporation team for their excellent effort in delivering this real improvement in safety education and the aspects of safety management. Congratulations to you all. So now we get into our Sustainability Awards, which is the last of the categories. And again, we had a good range of inputs, but I'd like to move swiftly on to our Bronze Award. And this is given this year to North American Stainless for their environmentally beneficial reuse of refractory tundish linings. And this was to avoid sending materials to landfill and also reduce the need to purchase as many steelmaking consumables. And the notion here is quite simple. Reuse the tundish linings at the end of their life, in the casting process, and treat that as a waste material, but reuse it, lower CO2 emissions, avoidance of waste disposal, and reuse of the existing material handling footprint. So the concept was very simple, but it was thoroughly tested because there were several opportunities for exploiting this approach. And we felt that this was worthy because it can be expanded into other companies with similar operations or similar functions within an existing company. So the horizontal expansion of this made this a compelling application, and we're very pleased to be able to give the Bronze Award this year to North American Stainless. Moving on swiftly to our Silver Award, this is given to Acerinox for improving the efficiency in graphite electrode in electric arc furnaces. And this was about environmental improvements as well as operational efficiency. So CO2 reductions, emission reductions were at the heart of this. But this was about using new materials surface impregnation technologies to limit the oxidation of the electrodes, which are made of carbon, graphite, of course, and thereby reduce the wear rate as well. And it was recognized from research that 50% of the wear of the electrodes was directly linked to high temperature oxidation. So that was what drove the development. And to date, while this is an ongoing development, reduction in CO2 emissions have been reduced by 10%, and electrode consumption has been reduced by 10%, and CO2 emissions significantly reduced too. And we know, because electric arc melting is efficient, the approach of these surface impregnation technologies is a good way of reducing the greenhouse gas emissions associated with this efficient melting process. So it's great congratulations to the Acerinox team for the Silver Award in sustainability. And now finally we come to our Gold Award, and it gives me great pleasure to offer the Gold Award to Baru Stainless for their acid pickling sludge to clay brick project. And this is a dilemma for the stainless steel industry, that after pickling the products in acid to get the nice sort of bright grey finish we're all used to with stainless steel, we end up with a pickling sludge which does get neutralized, but it tends to go to landfill for many of our operations. So the key theme here was to avoid dumping this waste to landfill, avoidance of other carbon intensive manufacturing processes for building materials, and use this waste to make a brick. And it was not just this waste on its own, there were waste streams for other industries that came together. So this was a project that brought together both academia and other industry sectors and support from the local Environment Agency to develop this robust and long-term solution. And what's really interesting in this was that the cost of recycling this material was 40% lower than the current landfill costs. And we know that landfill costs will increase. So this was very interesting because it attacked a waste issue we have in our industry. It reduced the need for other carbon intensive production of materials, brought several wastes together, and delivered a significantly lower cost. So it's with great pleasure we give our Gold Award to Sustainability this year to Baru Stainless. Congratulations to the team. This was a very innovative project and looks to solve a genuine problem for the industry. So that concludes the awards, and it now brings me lastly to the CO2 certificates. And we had a number of companies shown now on the screen who we are very grateful to for supporting our ongoing CO2 survey, which supports the green credentials of our industry. And we recognise that we have continuously, over 8 or 9 years, reduced our direct emissions of carbon dioxide at an industry level, which is an impressive ongoing performance. So thank you all. You will all receive certificates duly. And just one last thing about the awards ceremony. All the award plaques will be shipped out to each winning company. That will obviously take a few weeks after today's event, but please bear with us. And if there are any specific date deadlines you want to receive these plaques by, please let us know. It is helpful to know that in advance, and we can prioritize the shipping of things accordingly. So that brings to the end the awards ceremony. I hope you found the content useful. We were very impressed overall with the level of submissions, and there were a good number that were worthy of these awards because they showed the ongoing development of our industry in the right direction, whether it be from human safety, the wider field of sort of safety outside the industry gates, but also trying to reduce the waste, the dumping to landfill and our emissions. So we're moving the industry in the right direction, and it's great to see so many innovations. So thank you very much for listening to our awards ceremony. And for those of you joining the open panel session in a couple of minutes, we hope to see you there too. Thank you, take care, stay safe, bye-bye.